Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time playthrough.
Every single time I see that pause menu, I just see the shit we haven't got and it depresses me.
Yeah. You know, in the latter half of the game, the timelines do start to get annoying because by this point you've unlocked all the characters, right? So you're getting all of their timeline levels immediately after the level that it's attached to. So you wind up just playing half of the same level twice in a row. It's
This level name filled me with a bit of dread because you're playing this around the holiday season. It's like literally the last fucking thing you want to read in your emails.
Oh god, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just imagining getting to the end of the game and getting to the credits, and then after the credits are done, Crash shows up and he goes, bah! And then it goes, congratulations, you beat the game, but you missed 1, 2, 3, 4 gems. And then they all just fall on top of his head.
I was going to say, because the gems are more solid, so it would be like they're stabbing him. They'd get stuck in his head.
Yeah, it would give him an actual concussion.
Yeah,
probably.
he would crystallize. He'd become a crystal demon.
Anyway, so like at this point in the game, starting with Bermuda, the levels start getting really fucking hard.
Yup.
Like,
Oh yeah, also, I have to give an award for this level having one of the worst hidden gems in a normal stage as well.
Oh, is that the one where you just walk into the background?
Yeah,
it depends on
it's
where you
there.
see it from, because if you look at it from down here, you can see it quite clearly just by tilting the camera down.
I guess, but then why would you do that when there's Wumpa Fruit leading you down there?
There's Wumpa Fruit leading you down there, but there's
safe.
also there's also like a wall of boxes that you're very clearly supposed to headbutt your way through there. So.
Well, yeah, but I never ever saw it. I don't know. It was I didn't like it.
I mean, it
at all.
depends
I
on
think
how
what's
you approach
frustrating
the
is
level,
also
really.
that it's at the very beginning of the stage too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't see it immediately and then you start scouring the whole stage, like that's gotta. Oh wait, what the hold the
Oh,
phone.
you didn't see? Yeah, I saw that. No problem.
Okay, I don't think I would have ever caught that.
I think it's very funny how like we all perceive things different in level design. Like what's obvious to some is not so obvious for others.
Well, I
Yeah.
do think that there is something about playing a game versus just watching it, where when you're playing a game,
Absolutely.
you're focused on certain things that you don't focus on when you're just watching it. So sometimes that
The
helps.
borders
you, and sometimes
beyond
it
the screen
hinders.
do not exist.
You sort of get a tunnel vision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you look for things that look immediately interactable, and if you
Yeah.
don't see them, your mind glazes over them, or at least mine does.
Or especially if you're playing a game like this where you're trying desperately hard to not die all the time as well. So you're playing like really carefully and over focusing on the platforming. So yeah, looking around for things is quite difficult in this game.
I mean,
Whoa, Cortex is floating.
What? Oh, he
Oh,
is.
yeah.
He is.
Yeah, he's not even on the geometry.
Ooh, that was close.
it's gonna get closer than that.
Yeah.
By the time we're
in
done.
again, time trials, that's when it gets really close. See, that was invisible from where you were, so that yeah, that's why I could never see it.
Damn
because-
it!
And you walk right into that.
Ah, dear.
Damn it. At some point, at this point in the game, I was still kind of like in that mode where, yeah, I'm not going to go for completion, but I'll get all the boxes that I can. It was somewhere partway through this level, I think, where I just stopped doing even that.
Oh, damn.
So it was like, yeah,
Just go.
yeah.
Which in itself, I think, is a bad thing for a Crash game that's saying it's the fourth in a series of 3, because no matter how annoying Crash 2 or Crash 3 get, I never ever have that feeling of, oh, just fucking what's the point? I never get that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, because even in the handheld games that I finally got to play for in full for the first time a couple months ago, I felt the need to try and at least get the gems and the. Well, you gotta get the crystals. The crystals are mandatory,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, the GBA
yeah, like,
games are
I re-
solid. They're not
Yeah.
bad.
No, they're not. They're not bad at all. Although I don't hear anything positive about what was it, Crash?
Oh
Purple?
god, you have to.
That's
You
because
not.
it's not a platformer from what I hear. It's a crappy minigame collection.
Yeah, with like fake platforming hub worlds, but at least Crash Purple at least has lots of mini games related to Crash platforming, animal riding, and all that shit. Spyro Orange is the worst. It is so awful, so awful.
Oddly, in this level, some of the enemies turn into these gas clouds that you can't
Yeah.
even bounce on. It's
I didn't understand this. I guess it's to stop you from bouncing to the ceiling. I don't know.
it's to turn. You can turn enemies into platforms to jump on, or you can turn them into objects that you can pass through. It's
See, in a situation like this, I would want it to be a ghost because it trying to dodge those projectiles that you're doing there looked really awkward with that solid object in front of you.
oh well. The solid object can also act as cover against the projectiles. So however you want to play it.
Those rocky looking, like the brick looking versions of the enemies, the eyes that they have and the mouths actually, they're reminding me a lot of the if any of you guys played the original Little Big Planet games and ever did the level editor. Like you could stick moving mouths and eyes on objects and they look exactly like that.
Yeah, they were just their own individual little like pieces you would just slap onto them, and they looked really creepy.
Yeah, they're like round circles where the pupils just go in any direction, like unrelated to the other one.
Yeah, I remember.
That was a game that that gave you almost too much freedom.
Yeah, there's some great shit on Little Big Planet. Well, Little Big Planet 2 as well.
Is the new not Little Big Planet, but it's Sackboy?
Sackboy.
Is that any
Well,
good?
Ryan's been there while I've been streaming it, so
Yeah.
it is depressingly mediocre. Like if I had to review it right here, right now, I would say 5, 6 at best. Like it is so unimaginative in places, but it's fine. It works, but it's just so bland. Like there's just nothing to. I don't remember any of the worlds I've been to. I don't remember the aesthetics. I don't remember what has gone on. And yes, and more importantly, Sackboy moves at the speed of like a snow grit truck. He just crawls along. It's really weird. It's really weird.
So it's kind of like the new Mario U of A Little Big Planet. It's a game that just kind of exists.
Yes, yeah.
Oh god damn it!
You're being really picky about this.
I guess people just got sick of the whole create your own aesthetic or level aspect of Little Big Planet.
It's one of those things where I keep hearing it's like, oh, Dreams are so criminally underrated, and why don't people do more? It's like, it's because doing your own creative level, whatever stuff requires work.
Yeah,
and most players aren't going to be interested in that.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, like level creation games are kind of live and die on their fan bases. So take something like Mario Maker,
I drop off
right?
Mario Maker so
Mario
fast.
Maker has a much wider audience than something like Little Big Planet. It just does. And so even if the same percentage of creators to players, let's say 10% to 90%, like 10% of people actively create stuff versus the 90% that just play stuff. If you have a community as big as Mario, then that's still enough total people to make games worth playing.
Yeah.
Versus if you have something like Little Big Planet or Dreams, where if the community is much smaller and you still only have the same percent of people who are interested in creating, then there's just a much smaller pool of people who want to do that, and then a much smaller amount of content for the people who don't, and it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it's well. I mean, also as well, I don't know which one of you said, but like sometimes Little Big Planet gave you too much freedom, and I think that's what Dreams has done. It's just there's so much to do that it's almost a daunting prospect to start making something with it. Whereas with Mario Maker, everyone knows how Mario works, everyone knows how Mario looks, everyone knows what each of the obstacles do and how they work. So you can get a lot more content out of Mario Maker in general anyway, because people know what they're doing with Mario.
Yeah, because I did dip my hand in Little Big Planet for a time, very briefly though, like in the middle of the PS3's life cycle. But Mario Maker is what I ended up like sticking with because of the familiarity with those aspects and all that. And you know what? It's funny because we're dunking on the Wii U again, last part, but I'll defend Mario Maker on the Wii U. I think it's just a better console for that.
Yeah,
sort of game.
It seems like the gamepad's like
it's why I dropped Mario Maker 2 so hard because
it's just not
legit,
as friendly to do.
I don't like making levels with the Switch.
Yeah, and that's why I think there was a story mode as well to kind of make up for that.
You know, part of it is just that Little Big Planet had a very specific aesthetic going for it. So whatever your creative vision was, it had to fit in some form or other within that aesthetic. And if it didn't, well, it didn't entirely work.
Yeah, not entirely, but then I remember I did a video back in like 2014 about like my favorite Little Big Planet 2 community levels, and like some of the shit that some people made were insane. People made top-down RPGs that functioned on Little Big Planet 2.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the everlasting fuck did you do that? So yeah, so I don't know. It's an interesting discussion about level creation games and if they should be worth certain amounts of money and stuff.
I feel that's one of the rare types of games that would work better as kind of like almost a live service sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where you have the base game and they're constantly just adding little extra doodads to it over the course of time and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. On the other hand, I think part of it is just that it has a broader appeal if it lets people have like complete freedom as far as the look and feel of their thing goes. So that's why you tend to get a stronger community around something if it doesn't have brand recognition to pull it along. Something like RPG Maker, which, as we've all learned by now, you don't necessarily need to make RPGs in because it's that flexible. So I mean,
people make horror games, like puzzle games. I don't know if you could do like an actual like action type game on RPG Maker.
You can straight up tool around with the coding in RPG Maker to make side scrollers if you want. It's
I mean, that's the thing. Like, people forget that like even the original Doom was basically a 2D game that was like perspected and tricking you into thinking it was 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In the most basic of terms, it's obviously not a 2D game, but like in terms of how the camera system works and how the pixels work with each other and how the sprites work, it's basically a 2D game that's been tricked into thinking it's 3D. So it's like, you can do some stuff.
Functionally speaking, Doom and Wolfenstein 3D, they worked effectively the same way that Hotline Miami does. Except, you know.
I mean, it was in a 3D space, but movement was very much a linear thing.
Also interesting about Hotline Miami, it's weirdly, and something I've just noticed as just a passerby, just going, just an average Joe traveling all over YouTube. I noticed that John's review of Hotline Miami 1 and 2 is one of the most disliked that he's done.
Oh, because he said he didn't like it, pretty much.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah. But the thing is, I listened to your review and I saw it as I didn't mind playing it. I just didn't think that the story meant anything, and that was where the people were getting upset in the comments over. It's like, there is a story here. It's like, yeah, but that's not your problem. The problem is you just didn't get it and didn't care. Like who? People.
It's like,
I mean, at least there's something of a reason for that compared to our BSC's most disliked video, which is just people being mad we didn't upload an actual movie to the channel.
Oh my god.
Yes, one of our most viewed videos is our commentary on Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, and it got so many views, mostly because of people looking for the movie to pirate on YouTube, and it's like, no.
Even though it says movie commentary in the title.
Full movie, Warner Brothers, download here.
I appreciate the ad revenue.
this is why it's always, I feel it's such a roll of the dice when I'm looking at artistic indie games. Hotline Miami is indie, is it? I think it was.
Close enough.
Because if you don't get it or if you don't like it, it's like you draw the ire of that community so hard.
That's why I did a review.
I don't like it.
No.
Fucking deal with it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, why did you come to my channel to see me talk about the thing that I did and then not like?
Because I think they're just looking for additional validation.
Yeah,
I think it's
like if you don't feel validated in a purchase that you made for a thing that you like, then do you even like it in the first place? Like, there's got to be some sort of psychological thing in the back of your head telling you, do I like this or not? Because why else would your integrity be questioned? It doesn't make any sense to me.
You have to prove that you like it. If somebody, you can't just like
if you didn't like it, you just didn't get it.
All right. You like video games? Name every video game.
There's a kind of
now.
insecurity that I think people feel about the things they like, and if someone like quote unquote important disagrees with that, then they need to invalidate that person's opinion. Otherwise, their opinion is invalid, or at least it feels that way to them. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think people put too much weight on other people's ramblings on YouTube videos, to be honest. Like, if it's not going out of its way to incite hatred or anything, and it's just an opinion on a video game or a movie, it's like, who gives a fuck? Who actually cares?
The stakes have never been higher. You don't understand.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. But yeah, that's like, I did a review again. This was a long time ago, 2015, I want to say. I played Journey for the first time, and I don't get it. Looks great, sounds great. I don't see the fucking point of playing it. I really, really didn't. But instead of going into the review like, oh my god, I just didn't get the game, what I decided to do instead was go, hey, here's Flower, another game by that game company who also made Journey, and I'm going to compare the two and tell you why I love Flower and don't like Journey. And that alleviated the hate a little bit. Instead of me just going full-on assault on Journey, I was like, but look, I like this kind of game and I like this company, it's just Journey. It's not walking sims or anything I don't like, it's just this game, and I just had to use another fucking game by the same company to make my points. It's like, it's crazy I had to even think about doing that, but yeah, that's the world we live in.
I get where you're coming from. A lot when it comes to a somewhat niche genre like that, I feel like a lot of people default to thinking that people who don't like a particular kind of game shouldn't be reviewing them in the first place. And to be fair, there is some validity to that stance.
I feel like that applies more towards outlets than it does towards
individuals.
I don't think so.
Like it is certainly a nuanced discussion.
Let's go a little less obscure to make my point. Turn-based RPGs. I feel like a lot of people who complain about turn-based RPGs just don't like turn-based RPGs as a concept.
That's why I'm not doing a video. That's why I'm not doing a video on a turn-based RPG. That's why I'm not doing it. Not because I dislike them. I just know, like, I'm gonna have the same kind of, oh, it's waiting around. It's like chess as a video game in a weird roundabout way, and that's just not what I like. I like action, you know. I like
saying
movement.
That you already demonstrate more understanding of what the genre is about than a lot of the people who complain about it do.
Oh yeah, like I can respect it, and I'm not against it. There are turn-based games I really enjoy. I like Pokemon a lot. I am willing to go back into FF7 original and kind of get my feet wet again with turn-based. It's just, yeah, it's crazy, yeah.
It's the reason why we won't ever probably do a Call of Duty game on this channel. If none of us really like that kind of first-person shooter and all we'll do is complain, why would we? You know, in the same way that I probably won't go out of my way to record, and I'm struggling to think of a specific genre. Oh yeah, like a hack and slash. Like I probably won't try to record a Bayonetta or a Devil May Cry anytime
there's
soon.
the thing though. I don't want to make it, because that sounds very limiting in that case. Because I not limiting, discouraging. You know, because there might be a game or a genre that one of us would love to do because we love it to death, but like 3 out of 4 don't care, and he's like, should I even waste the energy on it?
We've done it before.
I think it wouldn't hurt. We've done it before. First off, you have to understand you're carrying that commentary, or at least
Western RPGs, my friends.
Yeah, basically. Like I dread and at the same time encourage Lewis to finally give us an Ultima game, like at some point for BrainScratch, because I know what. What are you gonna say?
It depends on which Ultima game, because like at the beginning of the series they take like 4 hours to finish, and then by the end of the series they're like 100-hour epics. So
there's a reason I recorded Trauma Center 1 instead of Trauma Team, because I did record Trauma Team, but that was a mistake. When one is a like a 3-hour game and the other is like a 40 hours.
What was that going to be like?
60. It was going to be 60 parts.
On the subject of turn-based RPGs, though, the specific crowd that I wanted to call attention to are the kind of people who will criticize turn-based RPGs for all the things they don't like, without actually making an effort to try to understand what the appeal is for other people.
Yeah, it's part of why I think so many RPGs now have action or semi-real-time elements in them, and it's just because there's a market for people who, like, there's a certain amount of people who just don't like turn-based RPGs, which is fine, you know, that just happens. But you also don't see first-person shooters integrating elements of beat 'em ups just because there are people who like beat 'em ups and not first-person shooters. It just seems silly. To me.
Yeah, that's always the most annoying thing too, because
I mean, it's happened the other way around too, with shooter games getting RPG mechanics because people like RPGs, and like maybe shooter fans don't want RPG mechanics in their shooters.
But yeah, no, it's one of those, like, you know how every few years Square releases either Bravely Default or Octopath or something?
Yeah.
And then it sells like 3 million units and does really well for the budget they put into it, and they act like super surprised. It's like, yes, because people still want these games. Just because it doesn't sell 50 million units doesn't mean it's not worth it.
Well, that's what happened with Resident Evil and survival horror in general.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh my god, no one's buying survival horror, and it wasn't because no one was buying them. It's just because they weren't making like an extra million sales, so they just stopped making them. So of course you're gonna say survival horror's failing, because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? It's like, this isn't selling because people aren't making them, but we're telling people that they're not selling because people aren't making them. It's like backwards. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's the whole reason why everyone rolls their eyes whenever EA or Activision or whatever goes, single-player games are dying, we're not going to make them anymore. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Eh.
No one's asking the real hard-hitting questions, though. They're like the biggest question of them all, which no one has addressed yet, and that is, John, why do you make videos about Sonic games when you clearly hate Sonic so much?
Oh, yeah. Oh, because they make me money.
How many times do you hear that comment?
Why does BSE always do Sonic during the holiday season? Hi, I like money.
There's this hole in the ceiling, and there's like nothing
Yep.
up here. Why?
There is.
What is there?
There's boxes.
Oh, you got it.
What did I get?
Times like this. So you got exclamation box, I think it was.
Oh.
The levels like this is why I'm glad that I had headphones on. Because I wasn't exactly sure what I was looking for. I was looking for the Wampa counter to go out to see if I hit boxes or hit something. Because I might be misremembering, but does the controller vibrate when you smack a crate?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, it's really weird playing certain games with headphones versus not headphones, because recently I've been replaying Rayman Legends on Switch, and I've been doing it in handheld mode, so I have headphones on, and all of the little "help me" little audio clues that normally help you find stuff get really annoying when you actually like have them in your ears 24/7 versus hearing them over the speaker.
Yeah, because speakers, they can throw the audio around a little bit, but yeah, if it's in your ears, it's in your ears.
Yeah. Also, Murphy sucks, and I hate him. But that's a different argument. Oh, okay, Caddy. Here's a question for you.
Yes.
100% completing Crash 4 or
Yeah.
100% completing Rayman 1.
Oh. Purely based on the fact that at least Rayman 1 has more variety in like you jump from location to location much faster, and the levels are shorter, and the game itself is shorter. I would be more inclined to beat Rayman 1 than I would complete this again. Oh, complete Rayman 1, sorry. Because like, again, it's the time it takes. I'm pretty sure it's not going to take 70 odd hours to beat Rayman 1, even if you struggle with it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But then, if you lose all your lives, then you have to start from the beginning. So, continue, sorry. So, I don't know. That's a tricky one.
There also isn't really the option of going for a non-completionist ending in Rayman 1 is also the thing.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never beaten it.
you basically have to 100% the game in order to actually beat Rayman 1.
But yeah, I'm more inclined, because like, even when it comes to secret stuff in Rayman 1, that's not the problem. The problem is just how difficult it can get with how limited Rayman is and how massive his hitbox is. That's when it gets tricky, and when the level starts throwing a million things at you which you can't feasibly react to unless you knew it was coming.
I'm not even doing the bonus stages anymore.
Yeah, you're not, are you? You're just going
You
ahead.
just jumped into there for the free checkpoint.
Yes, I did.
Crash. I'm so tired.
I kind of
mentioning the whole talking about like reviewing genres of things that you don't like and everything. It's exactly the same as like like a food reviewer just turning around and going, "Hey guys, now you know I hate burritos, which is why I'm giving the new KFC Zinger burrito a 0 out of 5."
Why is KFC doing a burrito, and why am I not surprised that they're doing a burrito?
Oh no, I'm just saying as an example. Although saying that we do actually have in the UK, KFC UK does have a burrito, and it's actually pretty fucking good.
Huh.
Why
But
do
yeah.
I want to eat the KFC burrito? Because that sounds like something I shouldn't want to eat.
Another satisfied customer. Use the code
Dude,
Caddy15.
okay,
Save yourself.
burritos are good. Fried chicken is good. You combine the two, it's going to be interesting one way or the other.
Interestingly enough, I hear from most Americans that KFC is kind of trash in the US. I don't know, is that true?
That would
I mean,
be
it's
interesting.
good. It's bad food that I enjoy.
Okay,
is
right.
the best way to put it.
Okay, so yeah, it's actually not too bad in the UK as far as fast food goes. You can get bad ones, but most of the time it's pretty solid. So.
The ship went to Plaid.
And weirdly enough, as a weird link to KFC and Crash Bandicoot, I somehow, a few years back, managed to get in with a KFC gaming competition for Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
Have you
Yeah.
played the KFC dating sim?
Oh, did you?
Oh my god!
I forgot that existed, and I wish I could go back to forgetting that existed.
It was it ended up being a lost play that we did for SGB, but it was myself,
Oh,
Ellen, and
no.
Serena did play that game.
Do you ever get to
and-
salute to the Colonel?
No, I think you might fuck him. I'm not sure, but
So, like, on the subject of KFC in the UK, I think that as a general rule, fried chicken is made differently to appeal to British palates.
Oh, okay.
This is a bit obscure, but in one of the
Oh, look, your low spin didn't work. I knew I wasn't insane. You just tried to do a low spin and it didn't fucking work. I knew it. I knew it didn't work in this game half the
it's
time.
because the floor in this area is slightly uneven.
Oh,
and I
it
didn't
looks
notice.
flat enough to me.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Look,
wait, what?
Look at that! Look at that
You see,
bullshit.
That's just bad box placement.
Oh my god. Anyway, sorry, yeah.
Oh, no. Now you got to do it again.
This is slightly obscure, but in one of the older Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, the UK version, not the American.
I love
version.
the UK kitchen
Yeah,
nightmares.
he there's this one restaurant he goes to where he really liked the food, and it was, god damn it, it was a soul food restaurant, right? And well, eventually the place folded, even though he really liked it. But they
Right.
put out but the owner put out a cookbook, of course.
Okay.
So, I looked up reviews for the cookbook, and half the reviews I was reading were like, "This isn't real soul food. This is like the bastardized version of soul food that they do in the UK." And I'm like, "What, really?"
Oh.
I didn't know it was that different, but apparently it is that different.
I mean, I can say wholeheartedly that the best fried chicken I've ever had was down Beale Street in Memphis. Like, that was fucking, that was another world. It was just a local chicken place, and we had it at like 1 a.m, and it was just the
Whenever
the
you go
best.
anywhere, the best place to get food is local places. It's never big restaurants.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, absolutely. And it was so cheap as well. It was so cheap.
They say the last thing standing in Georgia after the apocalypse will be a Waffle House.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been to it. Is that worth it, Waffle House? Never
Oh
been
my
to
god,
one.
they're holding
No.
hands. This degenerate content needs to be off of the screen right now.
He's holding his own hand with the hand he uses to touch himself.
Already
Probably-
then.
Hold on, wrap up the Georgia thing. Yeah.
To slightly end this tangent, Kat, if you want to know how ridiculously hard it is to close a Waffle House down south, we use it as an index to see how bad a hurricane is when it passes.
No
by.
way. Oh my
If your
god.
if your Waffle House closes down, you know it's bad.
That's incredible.